I'm still actively trying to do that. But every day you're learning and you're adapting. But what about the sin that we all know we do willingly? Like, that's the one that we never talk about. And that's the one that hurts me the most. Like, thank God I don't smoke weed anymore. But when I was smoking weed, like, I knew it was bad, but I would still go into it. Like, kind of was like I was chained up to this. And sometimes that type of feeling makes you feel like you don't even want to be in a relationship with God. Not because you don't love him, is because you're like, you shouldn't even love me. Like, I can't even, you got nailed to a cross, beat so bad, they didn't even know what gender you were. And yet I can't even put down this J. Like, I know you want me, but I don't feel like I deserve the love that you're giving me. Like, the sin that we purposefully walk into knowing that it's wrong, at what point does he walk away from us for that? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, how could you take all of the mercy but still keep doing it? I just feel like that's spitting in the face of somebody that's your father. Do you guys ever feel this way?
Yeah, I think God can't heal what we hide. And so if we keep that sin hidden and we keep it suppressed and we never confess it to God, we never confess it within the context of community. I talk to a lot of Eastern Orthodox and Catholic folks, man, and the practice of confession is something they kind of got on lock right now, right? Like they make it a point to go and practice confession. And if we suppress these things and we pretend that they're not real and we pretend that we're these perfected people, I think it stifles the healing, right? James talks about confess your sins to one another so you may be healed. And I think there's a need to confess so that we can reveal, so that it could be healed, because justification and what Jesus does on the cross for us, that's instantaneous, saved by grace through faith, right? But the process of sanctification is us cooperating with the Spirit to transform us and conform us and consecrate us. And that, like with you and weed, like that took a while for you to come to those conclusions, right? Or profanity, that took a while for you to come. So it wasn't that you were like angry, flipping God the bird. You just hadn't gotten that revelation yet. And then when
no, but I did. Like, so say what happens if I do? What happens if like
and you keep practicing it?
Yes. And like, that's the thing. Like, it's just like an addiction or like
Yeah.
something like, thank God I am not a slave to pornography anymore. Mm-hmm. But I know a lot of good men that love their wife, but they're a slave to pornography. Great husbands, great fathers, but they are just, but here's another thing is like they could convince themselves it's no big deal. But what happens to the guy like me where I straight up know I'm doing something wrong? And that's what scares me the most, is that I know. It's easier for that guy because he doesn't really know. But I know. I literally will have a great conversation with you guys and then, not anymore, but I would have rolled up a J right afterwards and just smoked it.
And you knew it was wrong.
I knew it was wrong.
Yeah, I would say God disciplines those he loves.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a scary place to be. Like if we're in the process of practicing sin, knowing it is sinful, God's going to deal with that.
Does that break the salvation?
No, I don't think so.
So, okay, so let's like kind of draw this out. This is how I was thinking about it, and let me see if like my brain is right. Your sin will separate you from God and God's glory and God's blessings. Not saying that it's going to ruin your salvation because we're all sinners. But if a man is drunk but loves God, right? Or if he ruins his life, at what point does he stop ruining his earthly life and it actually involves his heavenly life? You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, if I smoke weed, right? Yeah, I'm not going to lose my salvation over it, but I might lose my mind. And God says, okay, I can't anoint you because you are rather walking away from me. I'm going to give it to Bryce because Bryce has a hunger and heart for me. So like the parable, I'm going to take what I gave to you and I'm going to give it to him. That's how I see it. But that's not even what I feared. I just feared of one day him being like, be away from me, dude. Like, I've told you 100 times, don't put it down. You can't put it down. The reason why I harp on this is because marijuana was like, okay, I finally put that down.